Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise and give you the key insights from the sources you send us.
That's right.
And this time, wow, you sent a really interesting mix. We've been digging into the world of STEM and STEAM education, specifically looking at 2025.
Yeah, it's a dynamic area. We're seeing how AI, artificial intelligence, is weaving its way in,
Yeah.
and also how things like maker education and project-based learning are evolving alongside it.
Okay, so the sources we have cover a few angles.
Exactly. We've got a trends report for STEM this year, some research on blending STEAM and maker approaches, a couple articles just digging into AI in education generally, and then one specifically on AI within project-based learning.
Got it. So our mission then is to sort of pull all these threads together for you.
Yeah, give you a clear picture of the big shifts, the opportunities, maybe some of the hurdles too in STEM and STEAM right now.
Yeah.
Practical stuff, exciting possibilities.
Okay, sounds good. Let's dive in. First up, that 2025 Beyond 100K Trends Report. What's the headline from that one?
Well, the big picture seems to be one of significant shifts. There are policy changes happening, maybe some funding uncertainties for STEM work,
Okay.
but what really stands out is how resilient the STEM education network is. They're adapting, innovating.
So expect some bumps, but also some smart moves.
Pretty much. Expect some turbulence, maybe, but also a lot of agility.
That resonates. Feels like we're seeing that across the board. The report also seemed to have a really strong kind of core belief driving it.
Oh, absolutely. It makes a very strong case that giving everyone equal access to really high-quality STEM learning, that's not just a nice to have.
It's more fundamental.
Exactly. They frame it as a strategic necessity.
Mhm.
For the economy, for staying ahead technologically, STEM literacy is vital for, future success.
Okay, so it's positioned as really crucial for national strength. Did the report highlight specific themes shaping things right now?
Yeah, a key one is this idea of shared responsibility.
Yeah.
It really hammers home the need for everyone in the STEM community to work together, share what they know.
Like a united front.
Sort of, yeah. They see it as essential for STEM teaching and learning to, well, survive and even thrive, especially when facing pressures.
Yeah.
It's a real call for collaboration.
Right. A we're all in this together kind of vibe. But there was also a more worrying point raised, wasn't there?
Yes, and it's important. The report definitely flags concerns about efforts that might actually limit opportunities or even exclude certain groups of students, vulnerable students, from STEM.
Hmm.
And it underscores the need to actively push back against that to make sure STEM is inclusive and equitable.
Okay, definitely something to keep an eye on. Let's shift now to that research piece integrating STEAM that's with the arts included and maker education. Why bring those two together?
Well, the thinking behind it really stems from, the kinds of problems we face today. They're complex.
Yeah.
Learners need to be able to pull information from different fields, use knowledge across disciplines to solve real-world issues. And that's where adding the A for arts helps bringing in creativity, design thinking, alongside the hands-on maker stuff. The old siloed approach just isn't enough anymore.
So breaking down those walls between subjects.
Precisely. The study points out that, traditional STEM can sometimes be fragmented. Teachers might not always have the background to connect, say, science and engineering effectively.
Okay.
And on the flip side, Maker Ed is great for creativity, hands-on work, but sometimes maybe overlooks the underlying scientific principles.
Ah, so each has strengths, but maybe combining them creates something better. How did they actually try to do that in the study?
They created this really neat curriculum for elementary kids called Soaring in the Air, and the clever part was using the engineering design process as the backbone.
The engineering design process.
Yeah, that structured step-by-step way of solving problems. They use that framework to weave together the STEAM ideas and the maker activities.
Okay, can you walk us through how that process looked in this soaring in the air thing?
Sure, it's basically this iterative cycle.
Huh.
So first, the kids clarified the problem. Design and build a propeller aircraft. Simple enough, right?
Uh-huh.
Then they figured out what they needed to learn principles of flight, materials, etc. Next, brainstorming solutions, choosing the best design idea. Then the fun part, building it.
The maker part.
Exactly. After building, they estimated performance, tested it, figured out improvements, rebuilt, retested, and finally they shared their results. All 8 steps.
That sounds really thorough and, well, engaging. What did they find? Did it work?
The results were really positive, actually. This integrated way of doing things significantly boosted student motivation. Things like their attention span, seeing the relevance, their confidence, just overall satisfaction.
That's great.
And it also boosted their self-efficacy, their belief they could actually do this stuff, and their grasp of the interdisciplinary knowledge. And importantly, These benefits were seen across the board, no significant gender differences.
Fantastic, especially the gender part. How did they measure all that, the motivation, the knowledge?
They used a few different tools. For motivation, they adapted something called the ARCS model, attention, relevance, confidence, satisfaction. For self-efficacy, a standard scale. And for the actual STEAM knowledge, they combined scores from like traditional tests with how well the students performed on the practical tasks during the project itself.
Okay, so a mix of measures and the curriculum itself soaring in the air. What did that involve day to day? Materials,
It was
activities?
very practical, based around aircraft, obviously.
Mhm.
They had a dedicated Maker Lab space with all the tools, materials, everything they needed. And
Nice.
there were teacher manuals, student manuals offering some flexibility and, importantly, prompts to get kids reflecting on how they were learning.
And the actual topics covered.
It was quite comprehensive. Started with the history of invention, then the science of flight, aircraft design principles, then the hands-on building and testing. They even touched on intelligent aircraft concepts and finished with looking at big aerospace achievements. Covered a lot of ground.
Wow, that sounds like a really solid, well thought out example of blending STEAM and Maker Ed. Okay, let's switch gears now to AI. It's everywhere. The first article we have looked at opportunities and challenges specifically for personalized online education. What's the big promise there?
Well, the really exciting thing is AI's potential to make learning truly personal.
Mm.
Like it can analyze how you learn best, your pace, what you're interested in,
Right.
and then serve up content that's just right for you. Challenging but not overwhelming. That could lead to much deeper understanding.
Like a super adaptive tutor, available 24/7. It also mentioned real-time feedback. How does AI help there?
Yeah, this is a big one. Instead of waiting days for feedback, AI systems can often assess work instantly.
Mm.
So if you misunderstand something, you find out right away and can fix it. That reinforces learning much more effectively than delayed feedback.
Creates a much faster learning loop. Online learning sometimes struggles to keep people engaged. Can AI help with motivation?
Definitely. AI can make things more interactive. Think adaptive quizzes, engaging videos tailored to you, simulations where you can try things out. It makes the whole experience less static, more dynamic, holds your attention better.
And it's not just for students, right? The article mentioned benefits for educators, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
AI can crunch all the data from student interactions way more than a human could track.
Okay.
And it can spot patterns, like where are students consistently struggling? Which approaches are working best? This helps educators refine their teaching, design better courses, even spot students who might need extra support early on.
So AI gives teachers this kind of bird's eye view to make better decisions. Of course, with all this potential, there must be downsides, challenges.
Oh, for sure. Top of the list is probably data privacy and security.
Right.
These systems need a lot of student data to work. Protecting that sensitive information from breaches or misuse is absolutely paramount. You need really robust safeguards.
Critical point. And what about bias? The article mentioned potential bias in the algorithms. That sounds tricky.
It is tricky. AI learns from the data it's fed. If that data reflects biases that already exist in society,
The AI learns those biases.
exactly, it can perpetuate them, even amplify them. In education, that could lead to unfair assessments or unequal opportunities.
Mm.
So developers have a huge responsibility to build fair systems, use diverse data, and constantly check for bias.
Equity and access also seem like big issues, especially for online stuff.
Yes, huge. While AI could broaden access, there's a real danger it widens the digital divide.
Because you need the tech.
Right. Reliable internet, the right devices. Not everyone has that.
Mm.
So we need to be really careful that these AI tools don't just benefit those who are already advantaged. Addressing that digital divide is crucial.
And what about the teachers themselves? How does AI change things for them?
Well, the article really stressed the need for proper training and support. Teachers need help learning how to use these tools effectively in their classrooms.
Yeah.
There might be hesitation to or fear of being replaced. So clear communication is key, showing how AI can be an assistant, a tool to augment their teaching, not take over.
Empowering them, not replacing them. The article also kicked into the future a bit, what might be coming down the line.
The future looks pretty exciting, actually. Think about advancements in things like natural language processing. AI might soon be able to give much more nuanced feedback on, say, student essays or complex problem solving.
Wow, understanding the reasoning, not just the answer.
Potentially, yeah. And then there's the integration with VR and AR, virtual and augmented reality.
Ah, immersive learning.
Exactly. Imagine simulations where you can really interact with concepts, apply knowledge in realistic virtual scenarios. And longer term, maybe AI helps guide lifelong learning, suggesting skills and courses based on your career path.
Yeah, definitely a game changer potentially. Now, the next article kind of narrows the focus AI as an educational ally right in the classroom, not just online.
Yeah.
What's the main idea there?
This piece really argues for embracing AI, seeing it as a resource, not just something students might use to cheat.
Because they're using it anyway.
Pretty much. It cites a stat saying a large chunk of U.S. students have already used AI tools, some regularly.
Yeah.
So ignoring it isn't really an option.
So we need to adapt teaching. What strategies did it suggest?
A key one is redesigning activities to use AI intentionally. That way, teachers can see how students use it, guide them on ethical use,
Makes sense.
and teachers can also learn from how students use it, understand its strengths and weaknesses in a learning context.
They gave an example, right? An AI reflective assignment. How did that work?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Students in an education course had to reflect on how tools like ChatGPT could be used in classrooms. The good, the bad, the ethical questions.
Oh.
They drew on their own student experiences and thought about their future as teachers. And they had some background readings on AI in education to inform their thinking.
So not just using AI, but thinking critically about it. What kind of insights came out of that?
Some really consistent themes. Students saw AI as an enrichment tool, something that could add to learning, not just replace it.
Okay.
There was a strong sense that AI in education is inevitable, so we need to figure out how to work with it. Many saw potential for AI to help with things like brainstorming, finding discussion points, pushing critical thinking. And they felt educators have a responsibility to prepare students for this AI-infused world.
Sounds like they really engaged with it thoughtfully. So what practical steps could teachers take based on this?
The article suggests a few things. First, actually talk about AI critically, use relevant readings. Second, assign reflective writing, get students thinking about AI's impact in their specific subject. Third, create chances for students to share how they're using AI, learn from each other, and finally, really connect AI skills to future jobs, real-world applications.
So foster critical thinking and make it relevant. There was a quote at the end too, wasn't there?
Yeah, from Kierkegaard, about how teaching is also learning. The idea was that by understanding how students use AI, educators can actually learn from them, guide the ethics better, and maybe even find ways AI helps them as teachers.
A nice thought about that reciprocal relationship. Okay, let's move to the last big topic. AI supporting project-based learning, or PBL. PBL is already pretty hands-on. How does AI fit in?
AI can potentially enhance almost every step of the PBL process, make it more personalized, more efficient, maybe more interactive. The article we looked at broke PDL down into 6 stages and showed how AI could help at each one.
6 stages. Okay, let's walk through them. Stage 1, identifying a project. How does AI help there?
Well, AI could analyze a student's interests and knowledge gaps to suggest relevant project ideas. Think tools like Newton Alta.
Tailoring suggestions.
Exactly. Or using VRR to create immersive environments that spark project ideas. Even intelligent search or chatbots could help students explore and define a problem they want to tackle.
Okay, makes the start more personalized. Stage 2, developing a plan.
Here, AI could help form student groups smartly, based on skills or learning styles. AI project management tools might help predict timelines or assign tasks based on who's best suited. Think AI assistants helping manage the workflow.
Optimizing the setup. Got it. Stage 3, activity exploration. This is the research phase.
Right. AI could deliver personalized resources articles, videos directly related to their project, pulling from platforms like Google Classroom or Khan Academy. AI simulations could let them test ideas virtually, and AI platforms could make collaboration smoother.
More targeted resources, safer experimentation. Okay, stage 4, production. Actually making the thing.
AI assessment tools could track progress, maybe offer automated feedback. AI design tools might help generate ideas or even code snippets, and intelligent project management keeps the team on track.
Assisting with creation and logistics. Then stage 5, exchanging results, sharing the work.
AI could help students build better presentations, maybe using tools like Canva or Mindshow. And platforms like Mentimeter could facilitate structured peer feedback.
Streamlining presentation and feedback. And the final stage? 6, evaluation.
AI could analyze student contributions throughout the project for a more objective view of engagement. AI summarizers could help students pull out key findings for reports. And of course, self and peer evaluation remain crucial.
Wow, okay. It sounds like AI could really weave through the whole PBL process, making it potentially more powerful. Lastly, we had that brief mention of a Thai perspective on AI and STEAM. Anything unique there?
Not drastically different, but it strongly reinforces the global view. It highlights how important AI is seen for developing 21st century skills within STEAM in Thailand.
So, alignment there.
Yeah, emphasizes AI's potential to make learning more effective, more engaging, and stresses its relevance for teachers wanting to up their STEAMing game. Pretty much on the same page as the other sources.
Okay. Well, as we start to wrap this up, it feels like a few big themes keep popping up across all these different sources you brought in.
Absolutely. There's this clear, continued push for strong, equitable STEM and STEAM education. That came through loud and clear.
Right.
And the research really backs up integrating things like STEAM and Maker Ed. It seems to work for building those interdisciplinary skills and getting students genuinely motivated.
And then there's AI.
And then there's AI. Yeah, its potential is just undeniable. Personalizing learning, boosting pedagogies like PBL in really interesting ways. The possibilities are huge.
Definitely feels like an exciting time, lots of potential to make learning better, more relevant. But as we discussed, there are hurdles too.
For sure. Equity, ethics, just practicalities of making it all work fairly and effectively, those need careful thought.
Which brings us, I guess, to a final thought for you, our listener. Thinking about all these changes, AI integrating these innovative teaching methods like MakerEd and PBL evolving, what shifts do you think are the most crucial ones? What do educators and learners really need to embrace to succeed in this, well, rapidly changing educational world?
Yeah, something to chew on. We definitely encourage you to explore the resources further if this sparked your interest, and think about what it means for your own learning or your work.